Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. So today we're going to discuss about care for my vegetable garden. So we're going to cut the tips and the excess leaves on the bottom. So I will demonstrate further of what to do with this. You just have to remember that there should be no rain in about 2 to 3 days after you do this. So this is the main plant of our string beans, and if you can see, there are some leaves that's starting to curl, so we're going to do something about it. First, we're going to trim the suckers or excess leaves. So we have here, this was the leaves when it came as seedling, and then we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we're going to take this off because that will hinder the plant from going faster, and this will just suck the nutrients of the plant. So if you notice, it's more clean. So recap: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we have 5 going up, and I'm going to take this off also, the 6th one, because I usually just clean it up like up to like 8 to 10 inches from the ground, so we will not introduce any bacteria on the plant. But if you will see, it got healthy leaves, but this will be more healthy and like huge as the months will go by. And we're going to trim the tips so it will branch out and will make more bush. That's it. I already trimmed the tips, and also this one. So there. It is also recommended that you take off or cut off the leaves that has disease or starting to brown. So here's another good example of like this is 5 weeks from planting. So it's kind of taller in already. So here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. But I'm going to take this off also. So the height is like 8 inches from the ground, and then there's the leaves. And it's also better that you train your vine into the trellis, and if you need some tie wire, you can do so. So I also replaced the sticky traps that I have because we have a week forecast of sunny days like 80s to 90s this week. So the bugs and insects that are not beneficial will be really active on these days. So I burn the leaves or plants that is diseased or questionable because it is to prevent from spreading more disease or insects in your garden again. So this is one of my remedies, since we will be having so far whole week of 80s and 92. So this will be on top of the sticky trap. So you just need to remember this is the one you need, or this is also the original, but this is the best one, Ari Spring. You can also use a cheese grater for this, but I prefer it this way because this lasts longer for the whole season. After slicing it, you will be needing this kind of mesh. So this is my collection from the spice that I brought from the store, like the garlic or onion. So you're going to put your sliced soap or your grated soap in this mesh bag. I normally put 3 or 4 slices of this in the mesh bag, and then you're good to go. But if you put like 5 or 6, this should last for the whole season. So you guys, you can buy this in a huge pack like this. It comes with 8 bars, so it's cheaper than buying it by bar. So next we'll be going to have the tie for our bag to wrap this thing. So what I do is I alternate them with my sticky trap. You can find this in your garden center. I guess I bought this in Walmart. Was that Walmart? But it's one of the stores. And then you can just hang this like that, kind of secure it. So you just have to make sure that you don't have plants under it. So that is like 15 inches away from the sticky trap, and then the other trap is like 2 feet away from the soap. So you just have to do something like that to uh, add kind of security on your plants, so your bugs will not come near. I didn't have problem with doing this. So far my bees are still coming. The wind basically comes from this end going that way. So this was the thing I've experimented last year, which kind of works well for me. So, oh my goodness, the plane. So I kind of alternates. If you see, that's where the other soap, and this is where the other soap. So it's like alternate. It's not really like lined, since the wind comes from the front going that way. So that's one thing I've kind of learned. And I generally just put this in places where it's prone to insects or other bugs. So I will be putting more on my better melon, because that's one thing. And when our sesame grows bigger, I will put more because the stink bugs likes my sesame. Also similar care to my okra, I just leave 3 leaves on this plant. See, if you notice, there are only 3 leaves left. After that, I put some plantain at least about 3 to 4 inches away from the main plant. From this. So after a few days, it will look like this. So the care for bitter melon is also similar to my string beans. So if it's a vining, you just take off 5 or 6 of the excess vine on the bottom or leaves, so it encourages growth and good produce. So if you notice on some of my shorts, I have grown long, and I mean long, better melon, gourd, string beans, okra, because of the care I have when it started from the start of the gardening. So this is the female flower of my loofah. So this is my row of better melon. They are prone to other insects too. But although I already have some nasturtium, but that's for the aphids. And some aphids don't really like listen if it's already on the top of the thing. The aphids will just like once go eat those on the bottom, which of course our trellis is tall, right? So you just have to remember, do not put something where your plant is uh, on the bottom, because if the rain comes, this usually dissolves, and although it don't really like destroy your plant, but it just don't looks nice because you don't really control the weather. So this is one of my preventative. So before we had this fence on this side of our garden, we had deer coming back and forth on our neighbor's property. But I never had problem with deer because I had been planting some herbs like lemongrass, um, rosemary, and basil on this end in the pot. So I alternate them and exchange them every gardening season so they won't come on my property. And I also have motion sensored solar lights on this line, so it also discourages the deer from coming. And I also read from other gardeners that they put some iris spring on their boundaries. So that is why I discovered this gardening tip from them. And it indeed works well. So I never had deer problem even with some other wild animals. So before I end, everywhere in the garden I have different types of pollinators. So cats meow from Pruning winners. These are perennial here in planting zone 7B. So they come back every year. So this one I planted this day last year. So there are some insects, some bees that are enjoying it already. So this is on my gourd row. So I only have two here. My cats go crazy when I snip some of it, and then I will just let them lay down on the branches I took off from this. But look at that. So I also have some pollinators here, like my dahlia and the black-eyed Susan. And if you notice on my tomatoes, I have an alternate marigold that's supposed to repel some insects that usually love to eat our tomatoes. And that part, that's the sesame, the pollinators love those too. So you just have to plant any easy growing flowers that has nectars, because that's where our hummingbirds, our bees, or butterflies will come and pollinate your vegetable garden. So like, aside from herbs and other insect repellents like this, these are nasturtium, it hasn't bloomed yet. That marigold, the orange one, that's also insect repellent. So on this side I also have the blazing stars, where you can see there's already a bee. That will open from top to bottom, so that will be like a long stalk. So I also have this citronella. That's a geranium type of citronella. That's also to repel mosquitoes and other bugs. So it's everywhere here. And when our other flowers will also bloom, like the coleus, that also attracts butterflies and other pollinators. So I also have here my herb. That's a parsley, and I got some geranium. That's also to repel some bugs and insects. So it's just everywhere, and some of these flowers are not just for aesthetic purpose. That's to attract bees and or pollinators. So at the back of my trellis, I have this net, this one, which I intend for my hyacinth, some beans, to climb on it so that it will not be hot here at the back, because when the sun comes down in the afternoon this will be hot. So I was thinking they will climb up and will kind of lessen the heat. So this is my walking Egyptian onion. If you will see, it keeps on doing same thing like this, keeps blooming and will make more like this. So that's the main plant, and then it gets some blooms, and you can use this already and then make something like this and will grow, just keep on going like that. That's why it's called Egyptian onion. And that's also a repellent because it kind of stings for some bugs and insects. So that's why I have this everywhere, even to the part where I have my gourd. So on the end of the gourd, the chayote and some loofah, I won't be putting those kind of preventative because I already have here some leek, some nasturtium. If you can see, they are healthy except that one. And you can see this has been done blooming. So this leek has been here for about 4 years. So this end, the nasturtium has already bloomed, and on this end I have some more black-eyed Susan as pollinator, and I have the allium. So the allium is a family of garlic, so it has leaves like the garlic, but it kind of have a similar bloom to that leek down there, but you can differentiate from the leaves. I pass by, I forgot I also have some rosemary here. So these are one of my preventative for disease or insects, but it's not really like 100% for it. And then as the vine grow longer and bigger and will climb on that trellis, I will be putting more traps or preventative. So break muna tayo. Ayan, I'm here in the pergola. So if you like my video and if you want to have some more garden tips, please like, comment and subscribe so you get an update. Thank you for watching. Bye.